that you love
Jim,
and that I love.
how you doing, Dr.
and that
Jim?
You and my friends make.
Reverend Doctor to you.
They're kind of holding the torch for us.
Hi, this is Michael Woodson of Living Art. You are listening to KPFT Houston.
Mr. Jim Gill's in the studio sitting side saddle. And Jim, we've got a studio full of people. We're going to get to that in a minute. Right now we've got Ray Younkin in the studio. We're going to be introducing stuff to from his brand spanking new album, and that is Alone in Paradise with him. Also, Robbie Parrish is in the studio. We're going to talk to him today about the production of this record and spin a couple of songs off his brand spanking new album after all these years. Still brothers after all these years. Guys, can you hear us back there behind the glass?
Yes, sir. Good to be back.
It's been a while since you guys have been in the studio. Not so much Robbie. Robbie's been on the show numerous times, telling us about projects he's been involved with.
Sounds like a lot of brand spankings going on.
Jim, you are now the, what is your title with the Houston Folklore and Music Society now?
I'm the concert producer for the second Saturday concerts, which will be changing to the second Sunday in September, but this May 11th is our last one at the West University Community Center at 6:30 with Sarah Pierce.
That's right, and you are moving to the St. Andrews Episcopal Church?
No,
Presbyterian Church.
Presbyterian Church, where I'm a parish associate there. So we've got parking.
We have parking, which we lacked over on Auden Street, did we not?
Especially on Little League, the summer boys of summer were crowding out our parking. So the church graciously offered to begin to host it, and we've got parking for a couple hundred folks, and we're hoping to really grow this thing on Sunday nights.
Well, I've been to that venue at St. Andrews Presbyterian Church a few times. A great venue, plenty of room, great PA system. I know we're going to have some successful concerts out there. You mentioned Sarah Pierce. She will be our guest in a couple of weeks right here on Songwriter Studio, so please keep your station tuned to 90.1, and we will catch that show and interview her on Songwriter Studio. Without further ado, Ray Younkin, brand spanking new album. How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you, Tom?
I can't complain at all. We just mentioned it's been a while since you've been in the KPFT studios and your first time in the new building.
It certainly is, yeah. The last time I was in KPFT was over on Lovett.
You know, we've been out of that building, it's hard to believe, over 4 years now. It started with the pandemic, ended with the freeze that busted the pipes and flooded the building.
I remember that vividly.
You didn't love it, so you left it?
We loved it, but we had to leave it. We had no choice, and we ended up selling it for scrape value, which means just the lot value, and it gave us enough money to not only purchase the building, but renovate it. And this used to be a law office, and it's wonderful. Sandy Wyman got in and brought some contractors in here, and I will give you a short tour after the interview. Not the listening audience, but the guests in the studio. Let's talk about the new album. Excellent album. Robbie, you put your heart and soul into this project, and it shows. Excellent recording quality. You did some of it at your recording studio and some of it with Andy Bradley at Sugar Hill. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, the way it was recorded really was, we started with Take Me Slow, the first record, and we recorded both these records the same time, but we started in my house. We started recording in my house originally.
Well, and you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Anything that comes out of Mr. Parrish's house is studio quality, high quality recording.
I'm kind of particular.
I'd say. Ray, you've got, actually, I'm sure a lot of this was on Robbie bringing in all these top-notch players to play on the record. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and start out with the brand new track, and we'll come back and do some more chatting. Rescue Me, the opening track. This is rock and roll, basically. It's so different from your old stuff where it was all soft acoustic folk music.
It is, man. It's stepping out of my comfort zone, and thankfully Robbie knows how to give me a little push.
And some of the artists you brought in here, we're going to talk about them right after this track It's brand new music. Rescue Me is the opening track. The name of this record is Alone in Paradise. This is brand new music, Ray Younkin.
Step outside at 2 a.m., see the city sleeping tight. Could be this job, man, but I don't know that I'll make it home tonight. It's not like there'll be somebody waiting there for me, 'cause I am not the hero everybody says I'll be. But I'm a long way from leaving this town. Yeah, the city of angels. I'm a long, long, long way from caving in. Living and dying like brothers in arms, for swallowing sin at the sound of alarm. I wonder why can't somebody rescue me? I tear myself between my job, my family, and my ghosts. Yeah, but I've got bigger problems, and who needs me the most? Can't they see I'm just a man? I can't turn the world around. Hell, I can barely keep my own 2 feet firmly on the ground. But I'm a long way from leaving this town. Hey, the city of angels. I'm a long, long, long way from caving in. Oh yeah. Living and dying like brothers in arms, for swallowing sin at the sound of alarm. I wonder why can't somebody rescue me? Anybody, I need somebody to rescue me. Anybody, I need somebody to rescue me. I'll take anybody, I'll take anyone. Just need somebody to rescue me. 'Cause I'm a long way from leaving this town. Hey, the city of angels. I'm a long, long, long way from caving in. You better believe it. Yeah, but living and dying, my brothers in arms, for swallowing sin at the sound of alarm. I wonder why can't somebody rescue me?
Rescue Me, brand new music, Ray Younkin and killer guitar from David Monday, along with keyboards as well. How about those backing vocals? Sandy Stewart on the vocals, gentlemen?
That was Sandy Stewart, all right. She was a gem.
The harmonies in those little breaks were just perfect for the song. I imagine some of this Robbie had to do with, is that right?
Oh, he had everything to do with it. I wrote the song on a break at work, probably sometime around 2004 or 5. It was really late at night. I was in the production department of a newspaper, stepped outside, and this idea popped in my head. So I gave Robbie me playing acoustic guitar, singing, and said, I think this could be bigger.
I love the song and the mix. Everything is perfect on the song. This should be a big,
Thank you.
other
Thank
than
you.
KPFT, a big FM hit on the radio. How's that?
I appreciate that. That's very kind.
Well, you've always had the gift for lyrics, and I think that's what I used to go out to see you at the Mucky Duck on the open mics on Monday night. I'm assuming Wayne still does that. He's been doing it for like 20 years.
As far as I know, man. Yeah.
And your lyrics always just cut like a knife, and I would listen intently to your poetry. You have a true gift. You put that in combination with Robbie Parrish doing the engineering. Well, not only the engineering, but the production on this record. I know we talked earlier.
I don't engineer. I don't interrupt, but I can't do anything technical. I have great engineers. I produce, but I arrange and produce, but I can't engineer. I have the best engineers.
You've got Andy Bradley, I mentioned earlier, and also Steve Christensen and John Griffin had their hands in the engineering on this.
Yes.
Yep. A lot of late nights at Sugar Hill.
That's good. That's the way you do your work the best, late at night.
A lot of my attraction to Ray was the old soul way. The old soul way he wrote.
Yes, agreed. He's got an old soul heart and gift of lyric, literally.
Exactly right. Yeah, poet.
Let's talk about track number 2, Troubled Eyes. What caught me right off the bat was the groove. Now, was this your groove originally, or did Robbie say, let's try this or that? Go ahead.
My fondest memory of recording this, I mean, I had the general rhythm of it on acoustic guitar, but we found an original Moog synthesizer, and David Mundy was like, we've got to do something with this.
Moog pedals.
Moog pedals?
Bass pedal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Contemporary harmonies on this track. I really like the way you build the lyric. Your vocals build, and then you're dropping off again. This was an excellent idea for whoever was producing, Robbie, and you just really made the song by the arrangement. My compliments.
Thank
Well,
you.
let's listen to this track right now. Off the brand new album, Alone in Paradise, this is Troubled Eyes, Ray Younkin.
Every picture of a child can be heard. If you listen close enough, you hear that picture's 1,000 words. And it's almost like a train that's been derailed. When the picture says the innocence defending them has failed, it's all too real. And the look upon their face, it'll make you wish you could be their saving grace and reach into the photograph long enough to dry the water rising in their troubled eyes. Standing in the remnants of a town, when a camera and a child finally stare each other down, that camera stalls a moment of their youth that's bludgeoned by confusion and harnessed by the truth, 'cause it's all too real. And the look upon their face, it'll make you wish you could be their saving grace and reach into the photograph long enough to dry the water rising in their troubled eyes.
Don't want to cut that one off too early. Great arrangement. I love the bass. Brennan Nace's bass work on that really stands out. Just incredible fill on that.
Singular player, man. He and I used to hold court at Dietrich's coffee shop, playing chess and doing crossword puzzles and just talking and talking. And when Robbie brought him in to do that record, it was incredible.
Well, you could tell by that track alone that it took that to make the song what it is. Sometimes the bass drives these songs, even though it may be subtle.
And every time Brennan plays, it's like he goes to 11.
I love his work on that. Just great idea.
So tasteful.
You mentioned the Moog. Let's talk about that.
Bass Moog pedals, yeah.
Bass Moog pedals.
Yeah, David Mundy played bass Moog pedals.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah. That's that roaring sound.
I love it. Jim, jump in there, buddy.
Okay.
I know you were wanting to say something about the track.
Yeah. No, I liked it. It was pretty nice. Very nice.
I wrote that after seeing a cover on a National Geographic. It's
Okay.
a troubling moment in time, and plucking that out of the ether and memorializing it.
Great lyrics. Great everything on that song. Let's talk about If Heaven Only Knew, and the piano-based song here. Who's playing the piano on this particular track? That's David Mundy again.
Yeah.
That was David.
He's all over this record.
I love this song. To me, it really applies to now so well.
You know, I double asterisked it, so I have a little personal feeling about it too, and I think the Reverend next to me. This is a gospel-based song, Jim, so hopefully you will appreciate it as much as we do.
He must be moving from the feet to the hands then, if he's on the piano.
That's right. All encompassing. I love this track as well. If Heaven Only Knew, the brand new album is Alone in Paradise, and when we come back after this, we're going to find out where you can order this record. Brand new music, Ray Younkin.
If heaven only knew the way I feel tonight, would it matter who was burning out my light? If heaven only knew why I need to cry, would it pull me through? Or watch and wonder why? If heaven only knew, if heaven only knew, someone up there would feel the pain I'm feeling too. If heaven only knew. If heaven only heard what many friends have said, would it still be absurd for me to wonder why they're dead? If heaven only heard the anger in my voice, could it be deterred? Would I have a choice? If heaven only heard, if heaven only heard, someone up there would hear the pain in every word. If heaven only heard. way I feel tonight, what would heaven do? And would I be alright? If heaven only knew, if heaven only knew. Yeah, what if it was you? Then what would heaven do if heaven only knew?
If Heaven Only Knew, brand new music, Alone in Paradise, Ray Younkin. Hot off the presses, mastered by Mark Hallman in Cedar Creek, the Cedar Creek Studios in Austin, Texas. So you're bringing in people from around the state for this project, right, Robbie?
Country, yeah. David Mundy, London.
Oh, really?
But I went to high school with him. He kind of made the character he became, actually. He practiced like he was from Europe and England and France and smoked cigarettes like French people when he was in high school. And then he became what he imagined himself to be. It's really amazing. He really is what he was trying to be. There's not many people that can do that.
Well, he's certainly an accomplished multi-instrumentalist. And
totally musical genius, multi-instrumentalist, yes. Great arranger.
Love all his work on this record. It's just superb. And I've got to ask, on the layering of the harmonies, is this all you and Sandy on this?
It's a little bit of me. It's a lot of Sandy. It's a lot of David as well.
Yeah, we need to give credit a lot of the vocal arrangements, because David Mundy really is the vocal arranger like that. The background vocalists and the harmonies, David. I would sing him the ideas, but I can't sing at all. And then he would work with Sandy, who he was friends with. You know, they played in a band called the Sirens with Roger Taus many years ago before they get picked up and, you know, did really well for themselves, you know. They were a very good band called the Sirens. And then Sandy only did one solo record called Cat Dancing, you know. That was it. Roger's on that too. But anyway, I think we need to give, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. David Mundy vocal arrangement, like the harmonies and everything. Yeah.
Bringing him in for this project was a plus all the way around.
Watching him work in the studio, I mean, it was living art. The guy is so talented.
If you're just tuning in, Ray Younkin's our guest in Songwriter Studio, along with Robbie Parrish and Jim Gill next to me sitting side saddle. Jim, we're kind of leaving you out of the conversation.
That's quite all right. I talk a lot as a preacher for a living, so I'm enjoying the rest.
You get a little break tonight?
Yeah.
How about the title track? We've got it queued up right now, Alone in Paradise. Go ahead and talk a little bit about this. The soaring vocals that caught my ear immediately. Ray, your range is just stunning. Your vocals on this, it's probably the best vocals on the whole record is featured right here on this track.
Oh, thank you. It's actually the oldest song on the record. I wrote that in 1997.
For real?
For real. I was a 19-year-old kid trying to reconcile a bad moment, and It's I think it's aged incredibly well, and what Robbie and David and Sandy put into that, it's pretty awesome.
Again, it's also one of my favorite songs on the record. I love the slow build with the guitars, and again, we brought the synth in, and great guitar work. I've got it written on twice on this song. It's just well arranged.
Did you know that I waited 10 years before I would agree to produce Ray Younkin? He would come to my house always when I was not on tour, religiously, to a small room in my house, and we'd work on his songs.
The Red Room, I remember that.
The Red Room.
Yeah.
It paid off. Let's listen to that track right now, the E-title track from Ray Younkin's Alone in Paradise.
It's a rainy day. It's another rainy day in paradise. It's a road that leads to your house, but it's covered in ice. It's a year that you can't even see, 'cause you're caught in a vice on a rainy day. And you found another rainy day alone in paradise. And the coffee is cold. That little lonely table at your favorite cafe where you sit with your tired old book and your dirty ashtray as you wait for another lonely fool to walk your way. It's a rainy day, and you found another rainy day alone in paradise. Well, you sit all alone and think to yourself about life, and you wonder how you'll ever make ends meet in your lonely life. And while on a treadmill you wonder if another man's life, if it might be a blessing, alone in paradise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a time to realize where you are today, and you're right. Oh, you got tired of school, so you went your own way, but it's hard. Yeah, man, it's hard to be a poet that's got nothing to say on a rainy day. And you found another rainy day alone in paradise. And you're walking down streets where everyone used to be seen. Now they're dark. Oh, they're dark and eroded, but they used to be clean. And the girls, they won't even make you a deal for your green on a rainy day. And you found another rainy day alone in paradise. Well, you sit all alone and think to yourself about life, and you wonder how you'll ever make ends meet in your lonely life. Yeah, and while on a treadmill you wonder if another man's life, if it might be a blessing, alone in paradise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a rainy day. It's another rainy day in paradise.
Title track, Alone in Paradise. I can't help but hear a little Neil Diamond in that. My gosh, you've got strong vocals. Excellent arrangement. Robbie, your choice of bringing things in, bringing things out, the slow build, crescendo, backing off a little bit, bringing the acoustic guitars, just genius work. My compliments. Anyway, let's jump into the next track. We've got Nashville. You're going to go back into a little rock and roll on this one. Talk a little bit about this song.
This is another one of the older tracks on the record. I wrote it within a year of Alone in Paradise. And again, just a kid thinking about running away, doing something else. And it's funny listening to it now. So much time has passed. It's almost like I'm listening to a different singer. And then sometimes it's like my younger self talking to me. It's an interesting relationship, but I had a lot of fun playing with words with this song, and it was a lot of experimentation and seeing what Robbie did in the studio and turning it into this big rock thing. It was very cool.
That's during the time I was doing drum sounds for Brian Eno for U2, and Ray said he wanted to come across like U2. He gave that as an example.
I guess I did.
And then James Metcalf played the great djembe.
Did you hear what happened when Bono and Edge walked into a bar in Ireland?
Do tell.
And the bartender said, "Not you two again."
I've got a friend with whom I share dad jokes constantly. That's going in the roster.
You know, this is listening to it. It can almost be autobiographical for all of us in here that are musicians. The guy playing to empty venues, the empty house. But, you know, I remember going to see Jack Williams, one of the finest writers and guitar players I know. And I remember seeing him. I don't remember what the venue was, but there were 4 or 5 people in there. Here's one of the greatest. He refuses to admit he's a folk singer, so we're just going to call him a singer-songwriter. One of the greatest I've ever heard, and playing to an empty house. But you know what? Typical Jack, he gave it 100%.
I bet he did.
He's an incredible, incredible artist, and I love him to death.
So much fun.
Let's go ahead and jump into this track, Nashville, track number 8 off the brand new album, Alone in Paradise. If you're just tuning in, featuring songs off of Ray Younkin's brand new album. And if you stick around, we're going to be playing some songs off of Robbie's new album, Still Brothers, after all these years. We're going to jump into that in about 15 minutes. For now, this is Nashville.
I've got a crowd of maybe 10, and I'll be lucky if one of them hears me right. Oh, I'll take what I can get, but there's gotta be more. I never knew paying dues would be this hard. I'd like to travel the country and be able to say, hey babe, I'll send you a postcard. I wanna stun the world with my acoustic guitar. I want it to pay all my bills. And I've heard it more than once, boy, if that is your dream, then why the hell are you in Nashville? Oh, I've never been there, but I hear it's a place to remember. And now my heart's saying leave, my body's just about to surrender. 'Cause I just don't know how much is left in this town. I've had about all I can take. While it's a town of best friends and all the history I have, it's also a town of mistakes. And I'm just tired I'd like to have died when they left me inside. Not a single one heard me right. Sometimes a pack of cigarettes is all I get for company. But then I'll turn and I'll wink at an occasional drink to accompany me. Oh, I'm ready to fly like a bat out of hell. Yeah, just put me on a train and I'll ride. I'll leave all my bags with my maps in the station and let the train be my guide. And I've had no prescription to make it all easy. I'm here today in need of one still, but the pills of white mercury just might be good for me if I don't make it to Nashville.
Nashville, brand new music, rockin' music by Ray Younkin. The name of the new album, Alone in Paradise. What's up, Jim?
Well, I would just say I resemble that situation of singing to small groups of people. You wonder, did you get the result you wanted? And no, not one intended. Yeah.
Line of artistry.
Yeah.
I remember one gig I did in Kansas City. We got up there and we had managed to book the gig on the same night as a Chiefs game, a Royals game, a big Irish wedding, and a national softball tournament. So we rehearsed with the bartender for a couple hours and then drove to Chicago.
It happens. That's kind of like Songwriter Studio trying to raise money during fund drives while the Super Bowl's on.
That sounds difficult.
Happens every year, and we're lucky to get one pledge in. But,
Right.
That's music. Great arrangement on that. I'm telling you, your tempo changes throughout this record are so diverse. I've mentioned this before on my show. That is the secret to a good record. If everything sounds the same chord structures, same arrangements, same tempo, the listener is not going to stick with it. Everything on this record is radio ready, quality for airplay. It's just a superb record. My compliments.
Thank you very much.
To both of you.
It means a lot.
Let's talk about the next one we were discussing a little bit off mic, Wild Ocean. Give the listening audience a little background on this track.
That's another one written in the 20th century, late 90s. And I think I was going back to the Irish band's storytelling and roots. There was no specific subject. It was a bunch of little vignettes in my head and ideas, and I wanted to tell a story about it. And that's what came of it.
What's your email address and our website address, rather, and where they can order the copy? Is this streaming for purchase?
It's all on streaming, yeah. Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, pick your preference. We're out on all of them.
When you're out playing around town, are you going to carry some hard copies if the folks want a hard copy of the record? Or
we might. Right now, they're used as promotional. Robbie's saying, yes, we will.
There you go. They're inexpensive enough nowadays to press them, so you might as well carry some hard copies.
I was actually looking into doing like a vinyl thing. I think that would be great, but I'd have to do a double record, and I mean, the cost to do that is just insane.
It's very expensive, and one of the premier vinyl record companies used to be right here in Houston Records. They sold all their equipment to a West Coast company I went in there to get some reproduction on one of my albums, and they said, sorry, we sold all the equipment. We're no longer doing vinyl. So,
Well,
anyway.
the idea's percolating. We'll see.
That's right. Let's jump into the next track, Wild Ocean. Here it is, brand new music, Ray Younkin, Alone in Paradise.
The storm was near, the ocean roared, and as I feared, I went overboard. The rain was hard, the water rolled, my heart was numb, and my body cold. And then I saw a distant sight. There she stood, a sailor's light, and that lighthouse lamp, she was shining bright. I swam to her through the rhythm of the wild, wild ocean. I swam for hours to reach her shore, through lightning showers and weather wars. I beat the night and its typhoon as I reached the light by the morning moon. And as I crawled upon the land, a grounded angel met me on the sand. All she said was, take my hand, and my heart beat for her like the rhythm of the wild, wild ocean. She took my hand with compassion's glove. She took me in, a wounded dove. I fell asleep, and I fell in love. My heart beat for her like the rhythm of the wild, wild ocean. Another night, another storm. This time the light kept me warm. I lay beside her precious flame, while the storm outside called my name. I held her close, she held me tight, as our silhouettes embraced the night. Then there below that sailor's light, I made love to her like the rhythm of the wild, wild ocean. Yes, I made love to her like the rhythm of the wild, wild ocean. Heard you call the wild ocean. Heard you call it my name. Wild ocean. Heard you call it. Heard you call it wild ocean. Heard you call it. Heard you calling. Heard you calling my name.
Wild Ocean, brand new music, Ray Younkin. Terrific job on layering. Robbie, if you had anything to do with that, my compliments, 2 thumbs up.
He
That
had
was
everything to do with
wonderful.
that. He actually had a story with that song.
I have a story about that song.
Please tell us.
Okay. The song was originally recorded without a click track in my house for the first record. A gentleman that liked Ray's music but wanted to hear brighter tempos from Sony BMG, and then we were trying to get him signed with Bruce Springsteen management from the same guy. It was his idea for Ray to play the same songs on the first album, Take Me Slow, but make a more up-tempo, more energy. So I overdubbed twice as fast on some of the ballads.
Oh, I love that.
In the studio, I went by myself, and I worked with Steve Christensen, the overdubs. Andy Bradley did all the tracking. He mixed one song, Rainbow Girl, and so what I would try to do is try to pay honor to people that Ray really admired that I worked with, like Bruce Springsteen and Don Henley, you know. And this was kind of like a Don Henley kind of tribute, you know.
I get it.
The up-tempo version. But I gave you the copy of Take Me Slow, which Ray will be re-releasing. I don't know when, but he's going to be re-releasing it.
With a little pressure from Robbie, you will be re-releasing. We got some shows coming up. Jim, tell us a little bit about Cheryl's show coming up.
Yes, it's going to be May 11th at the Westview Community Center, 6104 Auden at Rice Boulevard. Starts at 6:30 and goes till about 9. Brian Kalanick will be opening. Brian is the president of Berkelin Records and a local artist in Houston, and does a whole lot in the Houston community for local music. And tomorrow, the 22nd of April, will be the 9th CD release by Sarah Pierce. It's called Blessed by the West. And so we will have her just a few weeks after that 9th CD is released.
Excellent. And she will be our guest here a few weeks from now on Songwriter Studio. Right. Cheryl Kaywood's got a show coming up in Galveston. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's the Johnson House Concert. It's April 27th, and it's at 6 o'clock for a potluck, and 7 o'clock is the concert. $15 to $25 donation, or you can pay Cheryl directly. It's in Galveston, and it's a chance to hear her because she was a local in Houston, but now she's moved up to Ohio, so she'll be down visiting. Her last house concert here was sold out, so you mark it your time on your phone calendar to join.
Yeah, and you can get tickets. Contact Jim or Pam, and that's Johnson at pjgalveston@gmail.com. So please support local live music for sure. Well, we're just about out of time, Ray, for your stuff. I wanted to get 2 tracks off of Still Brothers after all these years, Robbie's new album. Robbie, let's set up the first track I've got queued up, Red Dirt Blues. Talk a little bit about this blues rock song.
The guitar player, Kirk McKim, gets all the credit. He wrote the song. At the time, we didn't know what anybody wrote. We just played all those songs once. We didn't know what we were going to play, how we were going to do it. There was no discussion, no rehearsals, no run-through, any of those songs. And I call it like learning how better to record the sound of friendship. And Ron Fotino was the look. You know, he photographed everything.
Mr. Photographer himself.
He's really
Ron
the musician,
Fontenot.
the true musician's photographer. Love the way he captures.
I actually have a signed copy of his Jimi Hendrix photograph he shot. What an artist he is.
He truly is.
Let's jump on into that right now off of Still Brothers after all these years. This is Red Dirt Blues, Robbie Parrish. Kirk McKim, along with Travis Doyle, Rick Robertson. On percussion and drums, our buddy Robbie Parrish. Great live track, Robbie. We're going to be featuring this particular album in about 6 or 8 weeks when we bring you back on, and we're going to talk in details how this put together. But we are out of time today. We're going to close out and go out with Shuffle off the same album, Still Brothers, after all these years. Please stick around. We've got Pete Little coming up with Irish Airs. Jim, thank you so much for being our co-host today.
Sure. I think this is better than being still crazy after all these years. I think that's much better.
That's right. Before we leave the air, I do want to close out with Shuffle. Like I said, I want to thank our guest today, of course, Robbie. Thank you so much, Robbie Parrish, for coming in. Ray Younkin, thank you so much.
Thank you,
and your lovely wife, Georgia Ann, is in here. Thank you for sitting in through the show. Appreciate it. Stick around. Before we leave, I do want to give a big shout out to my buddy Alvin that's listening in tonight. Alvin, I know you're out there listening, so thanks again for tuning us in. Until next week, this is Tom Tranchilla for Songwriter Studio. Thank you guys so much for being our guest on Songwriters Studio. As I said, we are going to go out with one of my favorite tracks off the record, Shuffle. This is Robbie Parrish.
Ready?
Thank you.